Peace, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unc at the Track. Today I'm gonna go over how I believe you should park your bike when you're parking in a parking space. Now, your opinion could be different. My opinion is based on the safety of your bike and at some points the safety of yourself. But I believe this is the best practice when you're pulling your motorcycle into a parking space, whether you have a wide open parking lot or you got a parking lot with just a few spaces and you have to be able to fit in. So we're gonna go over that real quick, and then hopefully this helps you out in the future to help keep your bike safe. And I'll actually show you something where this isn't 100% guaranteed. Sometimes things can happen, and you'll see an instance when it happened to me. Stay tuned. So one of the first things you wanna do, and you wanna make sure of, is that you got enough space in between the cars. Sometimes cars like to park over the lines. You really don't want to get in between the car that's going to do that because you don't know who's going to bump your motorcycle with their door. So you want to try and make sure you got enough space. But as you can see here, I've actually parked my motorcycle backwards. And the reason why I do that is because, of course, like anybody else, if you're thinking like I'm thinking, you want to be able to take off quickly, get in your bike, jump in, take off. You also want to be able to see the traffic that's coming both ways. Right now, we got cars coming in from the entrance. We got cars leaving out of the exit. Helps me to be able to see when I get on my motorcycle. You got a lot of other things that you got to do. Put on your gloves, put on your helmet. Some people get their intercoms ready, they get their music ready. You want one less thing to worry about, and that's going to be pulling in the space backwards. Also, what I've done, I haven't actually done it with this particular parking style, but what I normally do is I park up to the rear wheel of a vehicle. The reason why I do that is because a lot of times when a car's coming from, say, a space like what's next to me, they can't see your bike like they can see the trunk or the front of a car. So you want to be able to let them see your bike as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they're going to turn into the space very quickly and hit your bike. And again, I have an example of that. It's not a turn in, but it's something where someone did hit my bike. So you want to be able to have your bike up enough where it can be seen in that space, so that if somebody's coming by, they generally take their time before they turn in, they can see your tire almost right away to not turn in and knock your bike over, because that is not what you want to have happen. Right now, what we're going to do is demonstrate how I actually pull into a space, which I'm sure a lot of you do, but this is going to help you save time, and again, it's going to keep your bike safe. Now you want to be able to pull into a space almost in the middle. If you can't make it, that's fine. But you can see I had enough spaces to go into this space right in the middle. I'm bringing my bike all the way forward. Again, it's all the way forward because if there's somebody coming from that direction, they're going to be able to see my front tire. If there's somebody coming from that direction, they're going to be able to see my front tire. As you can see, I have enough wiggle room for me to be able to pull in, because there's several spaces open over here, several spaces open over there. It allows me to pull in all the way to the back of the curb and have my tire pointed out, right? So I can just hop on, I can go. After I got my gloves on, after I got my helmet on, which most of us know as riders is a whole thing. It takes us a few minutes to get through that portion of the process. I'm already ready. I hop on the bike, I turn it on, I'm ready to go. I don't have to duck walk it back out of the space. It's also important that you pull your bike as far forward to the rear of that space as you possibly can. It should be aligned with the trunk, maybe the back of the trunk, or maybe the tire, but you don't want to be sticking out in traffic. You don't want somebody to accidentally clip your stuff. This is probably about where the trunk would be, maybe the end of the trunk. That's fine. I'm not past the line. My nose isn't sticking out into traffic. It's right where they should be able to see my front tire. So if there was a car here or a car there or a car on both sides, they're not going to turn in and actually bump into my bike. If it's way back there, and they're gonna hit my bike if they try and turn in because they think, oh, there's an open space there. I can pull in quickly before somebody else snatches it. Now, of course, the other thing you can do, instead of pulling in and riding that way, if you don't have the room and you have two cars on each side, you wanna be able to back your bike in to this particular point. You don't have to go way back. Don't go way back here. You'll be able to see, and this just has to make sense to you. If you're way back here, and a car comes from that direction or that direction and there's cars blocking it, they're not going to be able to see your bike when you pull in, when they pull in. So they can turn in quickly, knock your bike over. You want to be able to give them some visibility, which means you got to have your bike up. It's got to be up and out, all right? I'm on a little bit of a hill, so we're going to pull forward a little bit. I like my bike right here. This is where I like it. If you happen to put your bike in a space and the tire is facing towards the curb and you want to turn it around, do the most conventional thing out there. Put it down on a kickstand, grab under the seat, grab the opposite bar, lean it back on the kickstand and twist it around. If you haven't seen that in a video, they're out there. People do it all the time, but it keeps your bike safe. I'm gonna show you a clip right now what happened to my bike even after I did all this, because this isn't a 100% guarantee.
I just pulled up, coming from the left, going towards the right, looped in around the curve, put my back tire, as you can see, aligned almost with the back of this van, but not in traffic, not over that red line you can see there. And there's a gentleman that's gonna get out of the van here in a moment, and he's gonna come in and tell me that my bike's been knocked over. There is an incline here. There is a pickup truck sitting at a gas pump right in front of my bike. He should have been able to look in his rearview mirror or practically turn his head to see my bike, but this is what happens. Breaks the mirror, breaks the kickstand, breaks part of the fairing, breaks the backseat fairing as well, because I have my racing fairing on. And I come out and I'm like, man, what the heck happened? Now you're gonna see him get back in his truck and pull forward. He doesn't pull off. I was able to get his information. His insurance company didn't pay out, but mine did. But this should have never happened.
And then I'm gonna show you how I'll pull my bike into my garage. And that's how I get my bike in. You can see I come out on a wide turn, get my bike ready to be turned around. Sometimes I pivot a little bit on the kickstand, sometimes I don't. It's already ready to go and I can steer it back. And I can push it back by holding on here, holding on to the handlebar, or you can hold on to the opposite side. I definitely recommend you hold on to the same side, gives you more control, and just push it back into where you want it to go. Once you got it where you want it, put your bike on your bike stands if you got them, and you're in. My bike is ready to go. I get my helmet on, my jacket, my gloves, my boots, and I'm on the bike. And all I gotta do is take it off the stand, start it up, take it outside, hit the door, and I'm gone. I don't have to worry about turning it around, pivoting on the kickstand. Now, I've got some pretty cool stands. If you guys haven't actually seen them yet, I don't think I showed them to you. These are called Dynomoto stands. Now this stand, along with the rear stand, as you can see, have these all directional wheels on them, okay? This one goes under the front wheel, scoops it up, front wheel sets right here. And what happens is, on this and on the rear stand, there's also 3 access points with these multi-directional wheels. I can now move this bike anywhere I want it to go. So if I were to pull in forward, but at some point I wanted to turn around, I can actually turn my bike around. Depending on the coarseness of the garage that you have. Mine is a little rough, but still works a little bit. Should be an easy process. It's an easy process for me to move the bike. You can see, here's the back of the bike. This is me pushing the front of the bike. It can go in any direction I want it to go in. If I take it out there to wash, I can put it on these. If I want to work on here, I can put it on these. The only downfall I would say to Dynomoto, and I hope sometime in the future they come up with this, is that when you are washing your bike or you are doing some type of maintenance to your front tire, the stand is not holding onto the forks, it's actually holding the tire, so you can't remove the tire, which is where the conventional stand comes in, right? I did have the rear for this, but I rarely use it because I always use that one. That one does allow me to take off the rear tire and do everything I need to do. The front stand, again, doesn't allow you to do that. So I have to use this on the front if I want to take off the front tire and change my brake pads or do something with my brakes. This is what I have to get. I hope in the future, Dynomoto actually makes a front stand that goes under the tire that allows it to still spin, and you can remove it, but you can also move it around. I'm sure their engineers at some point will figure that out, because I really love these stands. And up until I'd say probably last year, I didn't have the conventional stands. I had these stands for 4 years before I even decided to buy that, because I was just sick of taking the front tire off and having to find a way to hold the bike up and doing that. So get you some Dynomoto stands. I definitely recommend you do that. You can move it around. When I had my car, this bike would sit over here. All I would simply have to do is, once I got it backed in, it was really kind of easy because I could just back it in the same way I did before. I didn't really have to put it on the stand, but my car would sit here, pretty much taking up most of this space, and I had enough space in here to where my bike could get out. So I would back it in the same way, back it up to here, put it on the rear stand, put it on the front stand, and it would fit right up against this wall. Real nice and neat, tucked away out of the way, and it's right there up against the wall. So these stands really, really come in handy. It's a great investment. It's not a purchase, this is an investment, because depending on how many bikes you're buying for, how many bikes you have, and if you want them, this allows you to move your bikes around in any direction in the tightest of spaces. When I first got these, I lived in an even smaller apartment that had a small patio, and I would keep my bike in the back because I didn't have the GPS system that I have on it to keep track of it. I didn't have a lock or even a stand for it to keep it safe. And so I would bring it into my backyard, bring it up on my patio, put the stands on it, and then I could just turn it around and push it out of the way. And when I was ready to leave, pull it out a little bit, take it off the stands, and I could zip out of the backyard through the gate, close the gate, and I'm on my way. Great stands, keeps everything nice and neat in your parking environment. And again, if you got more than one bike, that would really help if you can afford more than one of these. They were about $600, but I definitely think it's worth the investment. But again, the point of this video is making sure that you're parking your bike in a way where it's safe in a parking space and it's ready to go when you're ready to go. Again, thanks for coming back to your Uncle to Track. See you next time. Peace.